Hello students, today we will be doing our second chapter of First Flight, that is Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. This chapter is an extract from the autobiography of Nelson Mandela, the first black president of South Africa. The chapter includes the description of inauguration, that is the oath ceremony, his speech, his journey to being a freedom fighter, and countless other people who fought for their freedom. Now, before I begin with the chapter, let me give you the introduction, a brief introduction about Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was a very famous personality who belongs to South Africa, a country which is located in the African continent. Long Walk to Freedom is an autobiography of Nelson Mandela, that is the life story written by Nelson himself. So let us start with the chapter. Apartheid is a political system that separates people according to their race. What apartheid is? Apartheid is a racial discrimination which is done on the basis of color. In apartheid, dark-skinned people were deprived of their basic rights. Now, it is a political system that separates people according to their races. Can you say which of these three countries named below had such a political system until very recently? United States of America, South Africa, Australia. Answer is very much clear. It's South Africa. Now, students, have you ever heard of Nelson Mandela? Mandela and his African National Congress spent a lifetime fighting against apartheid. Mandela had to spend 30 years in prison, and 30 years is a very long period. So the chapter is Long Walk to Freedom. That is a very long struggle for Nelson Mandela. In 1994, Mandela became the first black president of a new nation. So in this extract from his autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom, Mandela speaks about a historic occasion, that is the inauguration. Can you guess what the occasion might be? Check your guess with a news item from the BBC of May 1994. So here in the box, we have got a very small news article. This you'll be reading on your own, which we'll be discussing in the Zoom session, that what all you have got from this box. Now next, here we have activity. This activity we'll be doing after we have completed the whole chapter. In between the chapter, you'll be getting these phrases and expressions in between, and the meaning will be clearing it in between the chapter, and we'll be also again discussing this in the Zoom session. 10th May dawned bright and clear. For the past few days, I had been pleasantly besieged by dignitaries and world leaders who were coming to pay their respects before the inauguration. The inauguration would be the largest gathering ever of international leaders on South African soil. The ceremonies took place in the lovely sandstone amphitheatre formed by the Union Buildings in Pretoria. For decades, this had been the seat of white supremacy, because till now white people were ruling over the country. And now it was the site of a rainbow gathering of different colors and nations for the installation of South Africa's first democratic non-racial government. So 10th May 1994, it was the day when Nelson Mandela took oath as the first black president of South Africa. It was after years of struggle that his party came into power, because until then, the seat had always been occupied and ruled by the white presidents. That is why the author referred to the day as bright and clear, as it was the morning which was full of hope. Days before this date, many notable personalities started congratulating him for his victory. And for the first time in the country's history, so many international leaders came together for their inauguration ceremony. The ceremony took place in an open circular building made of sandstone consisting of union buildings in the Pretoria city. Here you can see the meaning of besieged. Besieged means to be surrounded by an amphitheater. Amphitheater means open air theater, a building without a roof with many rows of seats rising in steps. On that lovely day, I was accompanied by my daughter Zinani. On the podium, Mr. De Klerk was the first sworn in as second deputy president. Then Thabo Mbeki was sworn in as first deputy president. When it was my turn, I pledged to obey and uphold the constitution and to devote myself to the well-being of the republic and its people. Constitution means a set of rules on the basis of which the government is run, and uphold here means to follow. That means to follow the rules of the government. The author was accompanied by his daughter on this significant day. His daughter name was Zinani. It was a very significant day, a very big day for Nelson Mandela. First, the two vice presidents took an oath, and then when his turn came, he committed to respect, protect and abide. That means he would be upholding, he would be following the constitution and to devote his entire self into the welfare of the welfare of the country. To the assembled guest and the watching world, I said, today, all of us do, by our presence here, confer glory. Confer here means to give, to grant, and hope to newborn liberty. Out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. We who were outlaws, why they were outlaws? Because no country was having good relations with this country, and outlaws, you can very much see here also the meaning of it. Because of its policy of apartheid, many countries had earlier broken off diplomatic relations with South Africa. We who were outlaws not so long ago have today been given the rare privilege to be the host to the nations of the world on our own soil. We thank all our distinguished international guests for having come to take possession with the people of our country of what is, after all, a common victory for justice, for peace, for human dignity. Now here the author mentions some parts of his speech where he said that everyone by his presence was giving rise. It was giving rise to hope for a new beginning. Previous rulers were discriminatory, the white people, and it lasted for long, but the ones who are given the opportunity to rule now, ANC, now they would stand up against discrimination. He is very happy to host a ceremony with the presence of global leaders. That means people all across the nations were present there, and he was feeling very proud of it because it was an accomplishment, it was an achievement in itself. Because there was a time when South Africa, for practicing apartheid, lost all its international political relationships with other countries. And now there is no segregation on the basis of race and gender. Other nations are very happy to have healthy democratic relationships with South Africa now. Finally, they have come to power and they pledge to make everyone proud. He thanked everyone, especially the international leaders, for joining them in celebrating their achievement, which is a step towards an equal society where all the human beings will be treated equally, where all the human beings would be treated fairly. We have at last achieved our political emancipation. We pledged ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discrimination. Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. Let freedom reign. God bless Africa. Emancipation here means the fact or the process of being set free from legal, social, or political restrictions. Bondage means the state of being a slave, and discrimination means when you are being treated differently or unfavorably. And oppression, it is exploitation, prolonged cruel or unjust treatment. And reign means to rule, to govern. So further he mentions that after great struggle, now they have finally achieved political freedom. His government promised to free everyone of the still existing poverty, hardship and inequalities of all kind, along with assuring everyone of a country where no community will be considered inferior. That means everybody would be getting equal rights. They all have got liberty now, and poverty will not exist. There would not be any kind of inequality. He then exclaims that freedom should rule, and may God shower his blessings on their land. So students, here we have few questions, oral comprehension check, and these, after you have gone through this tutorial, these questions we will be discussing in the Zoom session. So let me start with the next paragraph. A few moments later, we all lifted our eyes in awe as a spectacular array. Spectacular array means an impressive display which is very colorful and attractive. We here means Nelson Mandela and all the dignitaries. So few moments later, Nelson Mandela along with the dignitaries, they all lifted their eyes in awe. That means in surprise with respect. They saw an impressive display of South African jets, helicopters and troop carriers rode in perfect formation over the Union buildings. It was not only a display of pinpoint precision and military force, but a demonstration of the military's loyalty to democracy, to a new government that had been freely and fairly elected. Only moments before, the highest generals of the South African Defence Force and police, their chests bedecked with ribbons and medals from days gone by, saluted me and pledged their loyalty. It was not unmindful of the fact, that means conscious of, aware of. It was not unmindful of the fact that not so many years before they would not have saluted but arrested me. And finally, a chevron of Impala jets left a smoke trail of the black, red, green, blue and gold of the new South African flag. Chevron here means a pattern in the shape of a V. Just after the newly elected president's address to the audience, an impressive arrangement of fighter jets, helicopters and soldier transporters raised everyone's heads up. Everyone's heads here means Nelson Mandela and his and all the dignitaries. Everyone's heads up in the sky. It was a symbol of perfection as well as military's respect and obedience towards a free country. The high commanders who have won medals for their bravery also saluted and promised their loyalty. Mandela here mentions that he was well aware that these commanders who were now saluting him would have arrested him under the previous rule as during the oppressive white supremacy. That means the people now, the soldiers, the commanders who were now saluting Nelson Mandela would have arrested him if there had been the rule of the white rulers, because at that time he was considered to be a criminal. The air show finally ended by making off the South African flag in the sky from smoke beneath the jets. The day was symbolized for me by the playing of our two national anthems and the vision of whites singing Nkosi Sikelel iAfrika and the blacks singing Die Stem, the old anthem of the Republic. Although that day neither group knew the lyrics of the anthem they once despised, but they would soon know the words by heart. Here, the author remembers the day as the playing of two national anthems of the country, one which was sung by the whites and the other was sung by the blacks. On that day, no one knew the wordings of the anthem of the blacks, but Mandela was very much confident that everyone would soon learn this anthem that they once hated. On the day of the inauguration, I was overwhelmed with a sense of history. In the first decade of the 20th century, a few years after the bitter Anglo Boer War and before my own birth, the white skinned peoples of South Africa patched up their differences and erected system of racial domination against the dark skinned peoples of their own land. The structure they created formed the basis of one of the harshest, most inhumane societies the world has ever known. And now, in the last decades of the 20th century, and my own 8th decade as a man, that system had been overturned forever and replaced by one that recognized the rights and freedoms of all people regardless of the color of their skin. Overwhelmed here means having a strong emotional effect. So further, Nelson Mandela says that on the day of the inaugural ceremony, the author was remembering the days of the past when the whole system of apartheid emerged. It resulted in the inequality, inferior treatment with the dark skinned people because they were all being deprived of their fundamental rights. And as a result, one of the world's most brutal and inhuman society emerged. This system created an atmosphere of extreme cruelty and injustice for a particular part of the community. Now, when he says that he is in his 8th decade as a man, he, along with countless others, have changed this entire system that treats humans as humans irrespective of their color, caste, gender, or age. That day had come about through the unimaginable sacrifices of thousands of my people whose suffering and courage can never be counted or repaid. I felt that day, as I have on so many other days, that I was simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before me. That long and noble life ended and now began again with me. I was pained that I was not able to thank them and that they were not able to see what their sacrifices had wrought. This equal and free country was a result of sacrifices of countless other men and women who have fought all their lives for this day. Now the author wishes if he could thank them all, but unfortunately they didn't live to see the result of their courage. Nelson Mandela gathered his courage and power from all these people and now he wishes to make them feel proud. The policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in my country and my people. All of us will spend many years, if not generations, recovering from that profound hurt. But the decades of oppression and brutality had another unintended effect, and that was that it produced the Oliver Tambos, the Walter Sisulu's, the Chief Lithulius, the Yusuf Dadus, the Bram Fishers, the Robert Sobequis of our time. They were all the men of such extraordinary courage, wisdom, and generosity that their like many never be known again. Perhaps it requires such depths of oppression to create such heights of character. My country is rich in the minerals and gems that lie beneath its soil, but I have always known that its greatest wealth is its people, finer and truer than the purest diamonds. So here the author mentioned that his hard time had its negative impacts, but it also exposed a lot of strong and courageous men who stood up and raised their voice. Thus, it required that level of unjust treatment to produce such great heroes. South Africa, he says, is rich in minerals and gems but the greatest strength of South Africa lies in its people. It is from these comrades in the struggle that I learned the meaning of courage. Time and again, I have seen men and women risk and give their lives for an idea. I have seen men stand up to attacks and torture without breaking, showing a strength and resilience that defies the imagination. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Defies here means refuse to obey, and triumph, you already know that it is a great victory or achievement. Nelson Mandela gained his strength to stand against the wrong from all the great nationalists that he has mentioned above. They all risked their lives for freedom and tolerated ill treatment, but never stopped fighting. He learned that courage did not mean the absence of fear, but it is the ability to overcome fear. The man who overcomes his fear is called brave. No one is born hating another person because of the color. Because of the color of his skin, or his background, or his religion. People must learn to hate. And if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Even in the grimmest times in prison, when my comrades and I were pushed to our limits, I would see a glimmer of humanity in one of the guards, perhaps just for a second, but it was enough to reassure me and keep me going. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. Grimmest here means very serious or gloomy. Glimmer means shine faintly. Reassure means to say something or do something to remove the doubts. So further he says that one is taught by its society to hate humans because of their skin, color, age, gender and religion. But no one is inborn with hatred. The author's idea is that if people can be taught hatred, they can also be taught love and brotherhood. In their most testing times in prison, when they were being treated brutally, Mandela would see a pinch of humanity and kindness in one of the guards, and that was enough to keep him going. He believes that goodness in human beings can be suppressed but never eliminated. So students, again there are oral comprehension check. Few questions are there that we'll be discussing in the Zoom session. So for rest of the chapter, you will be getting the next video tutorial with part 2 since the chapter is a bit lengthy. So whatever doubts you have in the chapter which we have done till now, that will be sorted out in the Zoom session. Until then, goodbye.